This week on the weekly update we're going to have a look at Beat Saber, Trickster, the dungeon crawler VR, and also possibly why Sony is not going to attend this year's E3 conference. All that coming up on this week's weekly updates. Greetings and welcome, fellow YouTubers out there. Okay, first off, the apologies as usual. Not last week, but the week before, you probably didn't see any content coming from me. But this is solely because I am really getting down to grips and dealing with the advent calendar. The actual advent calendar can take a while for me to create it. It takes a lot of work in doing 3ds graphics, using 3ds Max to do all the pictures and such. I still can't do the animations on 360, but at the moment I have now completed the frame for every single day of the advent calendar, so that's good. The only thing that I've got left to do is just doing the post video editing, which could take me just about a day to do, and I'm pretty much mostly through that at the moment. So I've almost completed the advent calendar. I just need to get it all uploaded in time for the 1st of December. So yes, again, firstly, I do apologise about not doing any content the previous week. It's because I've been working really hard at getting this advent calendar for you. Now, what the advent calendar basically is, it's a 360 film that you can, well, not a film, but calendar, that you can see inside your PSVR on your PlayStation. So you basically put on your PSVR headset and you watch the video. It sounds like 30 seconds, so it's not long, but it's 30 seconds each day, and each day you get introduced to something new in the 360 environment. First it starts off with nothing, complete blackness, a little bit different from when I did it last year, because last year I had it all in my space station, but unfortunately there wasn't enough space in my space station. Yeah, that sounds odd, but so I had it in a completely black void, and then just start adding one thing after another after another. Hopefully it's not too much of a mess. It is a bit trial and error as we're doing this, and we're going to trial it once a year, but as it goes through, let me know how you feel, if it could be changed for next year, if there's anything you want added and taken away. I tried putting a bit of music on this, and round about the day 14 or 15 mark, I put in a little shout out to the entire VR community that I deal with. Well, okay, the majority of the VR community. I'm sorry if I missed your name off of the list, but yeah, keep a lookout for like day 14 or day 15. See if you come up on there. But yeah, if not, as I said, the whole advent calendar is a sort of an experiment, something that I wanted to do, and so as I wanted to do it, I'm doing it. It might be useless, it might be bad, might be pathetic, or it might be something that you guys are interested. So watch it when it comes to December and let me know what your thoughts are. I will upload it all scheduled, so it will come out midnight UK time, every day midnight UK time. So once I've gotten it finished, it will be out there and ready to show for the days that they are for. Hopefully I've got all the days lined up correctly. So yes, right. First up, we are going to have a look at Beat Saber. Wow. Just wow. This game is absolutely awesome. When I was playing this, to be perfectly honest, I was kind of scared, a little bit nervous. I didn't really want to get Beat Saber, but everyone in the community was like shouting out, let's get Beat Saber. We're really eagerly anticipating Beat Saber. We can't wait for Beat Saber to get to PSVR. And unlike Tetris, it has been tried and tested on the PC. So people know it, people have played it, people have loved it. And we've been waiting for ages for it to come out on PSVR. And now it's here, it's on PSVR. Was it worth the wait? A lot of people were saying yes. And like I said, I was scared to actually play this. The reason I was scared to play this was because I was never really any good at proper rhythm games, because I more or less work with reflex. Other people try to get the muscle memory going. I am just pure reflex. So if I see something, I'll bash it at that point that I see it. And then there was a whole mixing around with the blue and red and do it in the correct direction. And I was thinking, I'm just going to so mess that up big time. I'm going to slice the blue ones with the red saber and the red ones with the blue saber. And to be perfectly honest, I did to start off with. When I first started playing this, I was messing up so much. In fact, I accidentally ripped my headset off of my head because my arms got caught up in the wire as well, so I was flailing around like a windmill. And other times I kind of accidentally dropped. I had the Move controllers strapped to my wrist, but that wasn't good enough because my hands were moving around so frequently, so energetically, that they still came flying off of my hands, even though that they were strapped in. So I ended up put it in, tighten it up, lock it into place, make sure they're really there, and still after a while they came loose. But that was at the start. Give it about like an hour or so, and then you started getting into the rhythm. You started slicing the correct ones with the correct sabers, going in the right direction, and not once you like hooked the cables behind your head, so they're trailing down the back of your spine. Then you're not whacking and pulling your headset apart whilst playing this game. So yeah. Anyone who watched the live stream at that point saw me totally fumbling at the beginning, but nearer to the end, when I was like playing this constantly for 2 hours, I was really drained. I'm not sure how long I was actually playing it. I can't remember. I think it was like 1 hour and no, 2 hours. I'm sure it was 2 hours. Yeah, because I started round about 6 o'clock and finished at about 7:30. Yeah, okay. No, I started around about 5 o'clock because that's when I came in. Because I came in, immediately went straight on it, and then finished around 7:30. So they're 2 and a bit hours. But yeah, that thing really takes a toll. If you're not playing it gently and you're playing it as manic as I was, that really took a toll on my arms, especially the one-handed saber. That can get a few laughs with that. I mean, I was saying, when playing one-handed saber, yeah, there was a lot of innuendos going along around that, because I was like, they've only got one mode in one-handed saber, and that was expert mode, and my hands were going. By the end of it, I was like in absolute agony. I completed it, but agony. Yeah, there's one way of getting one arm much bigger than the other. People ask, gee, you've got your right hand is massive compared to your left hand. What are you doing? Playing with your sabers all night long? I say, yeah, was. Damn, that was really painful. But I still kept going, and so you kind of think that these little modes, they're supposed to make it easier, like one-handed saber or any cut directions. But no, they are far harder than the original. Because in the original, you kind of know what to expect. When it goes into these modes, one-handed or either any omnidirectional cuts, then they absolutely throw shit at you. They don't hold anything back. Whilst the original or the standard way, it's much easier. Even though there's more that you have to do, you have to cut in that direction, you have to put that hand over there. One little gripe that I have is that I was trying, when I started off, I was thinking, okay, when I was doing like electronics and such, I always put the R, red to the right and blue to the left. R for red to right and blue, L to the left. And so I was trying to get it so that the sabers were in that hand. So the red hand was in the right hand and the blue saber was in the left hand. But when the game played, the game tries to make it so that the red is for the left and the blue is on the right, and when you reverse them around, it is much harder to play. So then you put them back, and if you find it goes a heck of a lot easier if red's in the left, blue's in the right. So would be nice if there is a way to swap that around, so that we can get it sort of right in our heads. But yeah, starting off, I was fumbling around, but as you got in, I think it sort of speeds up your mind, because your mind adapts to the environment. Someone once said that it is not the strongest that would survive. It is not the strongest or the most intelligent, but that which is most adapt to survival shall win. So humans are not necessarily the strongest people on the planet, and we arguably might be one of the most intelligent ones on the planet, give or take a few people, but we are certainly, though, that most adaptable to change. You can find human beings surviving in almost any environment on this planet. So we are adaptable to change more so than any other species. If you take other species out of their natural habitat, then they will die off. Whereas humans, I mean, if you created a city underwater and then we would adapt to that by creating scuba diving equipment and aqua cities and such. But that's how we adapt. We adapt with our technologies, with our minds, and with our physical beings. In fact, even a guitar, prime example of people adapting is a guitarist. A normal person cannot play a guitar at the same level as an expert person. If they all of a sudden got that information in their heads to how to play the guitar at an expert level, they would not be able to play it, simply because their fingers will bleed and blister. The expert players has been playing the guitars pretty much most of their life, and therefore not only is their mind tuned to it, their body has adapted to it. Their fingers will grow calluses to adapt to the calluses or grow harder, so that they can strum the strings much better, and therefore they adapt. So the same thing goes in with Beat Saber here, and it is a prime example. I mean, I was a prime example. When I was starting off, I was actually flailing all over the place, but as it goes, our minds adapt to the speed and rhythm of the beat as it goes by. Everything goes faster, it goes faster. You adapt to those, you slice it up. You may start off bad at first, but if you keep pushing at it, you get faster, you get better, you get smarter, you get stronger. In every single aspect of those, the game literally evolves you as a human being and increases your level onto a higher plane. Oh my god, I've gone religious nut on this. Oh dear. But yeah, play Beat Saber, it will send you to a higher plane. Sorry, but maybe it'll help me make my videos much better if I like speed myself up whilst playing this. But yeah, I really did enjoy playing Beat Saber, and even though that my arms were absolutely killing me for the next couple of days, when I play Beat Saber again, it will probably only start killing me for like one day, and then over and over it'll get stronger. Yeah, good workout exercise routine. I loved it. Okay, sorry about going on that little nut rampage there, sorry, a little ramble, but hey, this is my rambling video. It's my job to ramble here as I go on about all sorts of weird stuff. Next we have Trickster. A lot of people were saying that they've been waiting for this, that it should be really enjoyable. I really wasn't getting into this that much. Okay, I know that the game's not that great in graphics, but when we evaluate these games, we don't evaluate the graphics. I mean, take not Call of Duty, D-Day. Yeah, take D-Day when that came out, or well, still in its beta. The graphics are really down, but we all loved it because it was a great gameplay. It was a great multiplayer game. Reminded me of the stages when we used to play. Well, not Call of Duty, Battlefield 1942 when that first came out way back in like the 90s. That was, or well, the early 2000s. But those were like great games, great multiplayer games. And even though the poor graphics was there, it still worked. Trickster is a sort of a meh game. I mean, I like role-playing games, I like RPG, I like sword and sorcery, I like being a magician throwing fireball and hellfire from heaven above and destroying all my enemies with the massive chaotic weapons that I've created, and I've got none of that here. I mean, yeah, you can like build up, I mean this is like base level entry dungeon crawler style, and it's not even really a dungeon. I mean, it calls itself a dungeon crawler, but instead of being in a dungeon, it's out on floating rocks. I mean, how is that really a dungeon? And I find myself kind of bored with this game, to be perfectly honest. After a while, go to an area, kill all the bad guys, go to the next area, kill all the bad guys, go to the next area, kill all the bad guys. Come on. I ended up not really caring what the type of person was that I was killing, if it was like a small little orc or a massive shielded orc. All I know is if I just punched it enough times it would die. Use my shield to block any incoming attacks and then just whack them with my short sword and it'll die. Nowhere like Skyrim level is, and it's not going to be that sort of level because I mean it's really quite primitive in what it offers. Yes, it does have some potential. Yes, maybe you can have a decent multiplayer game experience with this, and yes, there are the odd spells and different weapons that you can use if you level up your character. But no, it didn't really seem that interesting to me. So therefore, I didn't really care too much for this game. I played it for a bit. I had a marginally good time feeding off the endless waves of enemies. But I'm just about to delete it and then free up some space just for anything else that comes along on the game, on the VR headset. Speaking of which, there should be a few other games that are coming up. Do I recommend this game? Meh is the answer. Meh is the gameplay aspects I've got of it. Meh was my general overall feeling of it, opinion of it. And meh is the response I'll give is if you think that if you should get it or not. And if you like a sort of meh game, I mean, or if you feel like you possibly have to get every single RPG style game out there. I mean, it's not even an RPG style game in my mind. I mean, an RPG style game means a certain leveling up base depending on the amount of experience. And yeah, it's got a level up sort of system, but that level up sort of system is meh. So therefore, my review on this is a meh out of 10, as Owlswords and everything would say. Yeah, okay. So that's for the two main games that we've done so far. Now, I've already talked to you about the advent calendar at the beginning of this. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Fallout 76. We've had the game's been out for a fair bit. We've got some review. People are singing its praises, cursing it down, and basically it's got its ups and downs. Sorry, I do realise I was also going to talk about the Sony attempt at E3, but because this isn't scripted, I totally forgot about that until just now. But I'm on the Fallout 76 section of this, so let's talk about the Fallout 76. Fallout 76. Am I enjoying it? Yes, I am. Am I enjoying it for the right reasons? No, I'm not. Now, the reason it's getting a lot of slate for it is because, well, let's look at Fallout 76 in its entirety, or in its whole. There is a lot to explore. There's a lot to do. I mean, even though it's all barely minimum, there is still a fair amount to do. There's lots of exploring, lots of quests to do, lots of places to go to, lots of enemies to kill, and as I said, there's lots of events to attend to. There is a whole multiplayer area scenario around here, and it's all quite well and good and decent. The only downside is that it is completely empty. It is a wasteland, and there's nothing really scripted apart from like the events. Now, what I mean by that, by scripted, I mean, let's take Fallout 4, or Fallout 4, when that came out. Fallout 4, you start off, you cuddle the baby, you then hear on the news that there's nuclear launches and explosions going on. The klaxon starts whirring, you grab your missus grab the baby, you run out the house, everyone is all panicking as they're running down the streets, the NPCs can't go this way, you run to the bunker, and as you're going down, there's a massive mushroom cloud in the distance as nuclear explosions are going off, and mayhem is breaking loose as you are just managing to get there by a gnat's margin. And that's what we like out of solo player or offline games, because you can get these scripted events. Now, with most online games, they don't have anything like this at all. They don't have in-depth story detail. They just give you an area or a sandbox for you to play in, and that's it. They might script a couple of NPCs just to say hi when you come in, or a message if you go there for the first time, or an event to be triggered, but it is nothing as detailed as what like that intro is that you get. I mean, take Fallout or the intro from Skyrim, or pretty much any first-person shooter that you can think of. Okay, maybe not that case. I mean, if even Doom has the original from like the 1990s game, where it had some sort of little event that makes you feel that it's more challenging. But there is no real story apart from that what you make yourself, and that's the downside what loads of people are hating on Fallout 76 for. Yes, there are a lot of bugs in there, but the Bethesda and bugs go hand in hand. You expect the odd bug here and there, and most of the bugs have been pretty much superficial. You're not getting anything really bad or game breaking. okay, there is the infinite bag space bug, which I'm sure the Bethesda's going to iron out. In case you didn't know, there is a possible way of getting infinite bag space by using pocketed armor. Should I go into that? Nah. If you want to know how to get infinite bag space, talk to me about it. But there's the infinite bag space, infinite XP, infinite caps. Like I said, I've not much. I think they're all going to be ironed out shortly anyway with the next patch. Oh, and having patches that are 45 gigabytes. Yeah, nice one, Bethesda. I'm sure that's going to go very well down in. But yeah, there is quite a lot that's going on in Fallout 76. And I, for the one, have actually been enjoying it for the fair bit. Bugs notwithstanding, leveling up my characters properly. But there are so many things that it would be better if Bethesda fixed, such as, okay, we have problems with space. Unlimited bug space notwithstanding, where we're playing the game properly, we have problems with space. We don't have enough in our stash. We only got 400 weight units and only whatever you've got in your backpack, and so therefore we need to have more space. Yes, you could double that 400 to 800, but that's going to be a little bit. Just divert. That's the simple, easy way around, and it's not going to fix the overall problem in the end. Because once you've got space, the first thing you're going to do is fill it up. So what I recommend is if they added in a way to upgrade your stash. So like first one 400, second level 800, third level 1600, and so on and so forth. If they can have a way to upgrade their stash through crafting in game rather than having to pay for it. That's another thing I noticed. That yeah, they have a they have a what they call the atom currency, which you can purchase. But the only thing that you can buy with the atom currency is superficial stuff that makes absolutely no difference to the game at all or not. But if you want to get it, if you want to buy extra atoms, then you can have like the 2006 or 2076 glasses for whatever reason, and yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way of going about getting extra money through extra game currency. It's just by making the things that you purchase with it entirely 100% superficial, so that it doesn't make any difference in game. So I think they got the right idea with that, as well as the PvP element. Now, some people think that the PvP element is broken because you shoot one person and say, hi, I want to give you a PvP, initiate PvP with you. The other person shoots them back and that instigates the PvP, and then you're both in PvP environment. That's kind of broken in the fact that you shoot me with a little pistol to say, hi, I want to do PvP. Okay, I'll shoot you back with a mini nuke or a fat man, rocket launcher. Blow you to pieces. So yeah, the person who shoots back is in the winning environment. But I like the fact that people can't just go around and grief me unless they're going to go through a lot of expense. And even if they do start griefing me, I can just quickly change servers. But changing servers, that's one of the things that I don't like, is the fact that you lose all the camp stuff. So when you log out, when I mean camp stuff, I mean the workshops. Because I've worked out how you can use the workshops. I've managed to create, it took me a while to figure it out, but I've gotten like vertibirds on my side. If you ever see like a little vertibird flying overhead, that's probably me, because I've worked out how to get those work, and I thought that's absolutely awesome, flying around with a vertibird. And placement. Gun turrets are also quite impressive. And also, as I say, getting the resources. There was one particular workshop that allowed me to get golden ore or flakes or whatever, as well as acid, and I think those are two very valuable things. The acid I use for all my bullet crafting, and I need a lot of acid and bullets, and yeah, bugger, after I cleared out the area and spent an absolute fortune on creating the resource machines and gun placements, defending the area, and then the server crashes and say, oh boha, I've lost all of that lot, which is a pain. So it would be good way if we could find out which server we was last on and go back to it and see if our stuff was is still there if needed. Okay, well, I think I've talked about Fallout 76 for long enough. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, Sony. Yes, in the rumour mill at the moment with Sony is rife. We've got a lot of things going on with Sony at the moment, and the one thing that we heard is that they are not attending E3. They're boycotting E3. Actually, I think boycotting might be a tough word. Skipping. They're skipping E3. Why? Why are they skipping E3 this time? And the rumour mill is rife with that. The fact that there is a lot of things that are going on inside Sony that they're working on, that they want to put forward to the next SonyCon or the next convention that they do for themselves. And things we are looking at PlayStation 5, we are looking at PSVR 2, we are looking at Move 2.0. There seems to be a lot of things that they are working on and that are pushing forwards to trying to get. We've seen sketches, we've seen diagrams of possible technology that they're going through at the moment for the Move 2, for the Move 2.0 and the PSVR 2.0. We haven't seen any designs for a PlayStation 5 yet, but the rumours are that the PlayStation 5 is currently in development. Now, the reason that they're skipping E3 is because they want to totally focus 100% on getting these designs. They don't want to worry about doing a show and tell or a showcase or get some sort of demo ready for an E3 general, well, not general, a general public thing. They are really focusing all of their energy on getting something ready for their convention. So look out for this. There might be, with things that we are hoping for, is that the PlayStation 5, apparently, as I called it, I said this before, that the PlayStation 5 is going to be PSVR compliant or ready was the word. Now, what we mean by PSVR ready is that, you know, the little power brick that connects to your headset to the PlayStation. Apparently, that, not power brick, but the converter brick, that's going to be built inside the the PlayStation itself. So therefore, you don't have to worry about that. Also, the PSVR 2.0 looks like it might use inside-out technology. Now, for anyone who's not too familiar with inside-out technology, have a little look at the Oculus Quest that's currently that people are looking at the moment, or even say the Google Glass. Google Glass might even use inside-out technology. Now, what inside-out technology is basically, you know, at the moment with the standard PSVR, you've got lights on the front and back of the headset, which a camera will pick up and can figure out whereabouts in the space or whereabouts in the room that you are. Inside-out technology gets rid of all that, so there's no wires needed, no cameras needed, external cameras that is, because the cameras that I use are actually inside the headset. The cameras, sorry, ignoring the motorbikes in the background. Alright. Yep, the cameras themselves are actually inside the headset looking out. And what they are doing is they are taking a map of the area around you and watching how that area moves. So it takes a look at the walls, the floors, the bed, anything like the couch or bed or whatever you've got inside the around with you, and basically just maps the environment around you and then programs the area inside the headset. And as you move around your headset, it sees the area around you moving, and therefore works out you've just moved in such and such a way. So therefore, with all this area tracking done inside the headset rather than on the actual PlayStation itself, it doesn't need any connection to the actual PlayStation itself, which is good because you can basically just move the headset around whenever you want it. The Oculus Quest out at the moment doesn't require any PC or any computer or any console or anything, and it has about 50 games already preloaded into it, and I think that is absolutely amazing. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know what the technology is going to be like, but something as powerful as a PC compact into a headset, there's got to be some downsides to that, because well, maybe it's just going to be super heavy and you're going to feel like wearing a tank on your head. I don't know. I haven't played with the Oculus Quest yet. I would really like to give that a try out. But the PSVR 2.0 looks like it's going to be going the same way. I am kind of hoping, I really am hoping that when they ship the new PS5, it will be a PS5 stroke PSVR sort of bundle. You do require one to use the other, or something like that. Not used, but they are shipped as a unit, as a set. So you've got like the main console, the VR headset, and the Move 2.0 controllers. Now the new 2.0 controllers, finally we have managed to got them to doing something about this, because the old Move controllers are so old, so ancient technology, that they originally was used with the PlayStation 3 when they was trying to ship the PlayStation camera, and it kind of flopped. Not many people ended up using them. I mean, you might find out the odd one or two game out there for the Move controllers, but it never really actually properly worked. They even shipped it so you've got two Move controllers and a third controller, which was just the analog stick for some of the games. But in the end, they got rid of the analog stick because no one ever really made games for that, because they got two Move controllers, they wanted to use one in each hand. And so therefore the analog stick kind of went into obscurity over the past, well, it's over like a generation and a half now, isn't it? Because it started midway through the PS3 and it's gone through the entire life cycle of the PS4. So the Move 5.0, the Move 2.0 controllers is going to have an analog stick. We've been wanting this for ages. It is one thing that we really did need, is an analog stick for the Move controllers. So I am really psyched for the Sony Con that's coming up later in 2019. I really do believe that they are going to be pushing out the PlayStation 5, PSVR 2.0 and Move 2.0. These are the three main things that we are wanting. This is what it looks like they're working on. Hopefully, let's get it done. Let's make that happen. I am really psyched for this. I am psyched. I just hope I've got enough money to pay for it when it comes out. Okay. That's that for today. Yes, I'm still doing the, at the moment I'm still doing the advent calendar. Keep an eye out for that. Last thing I'm going to talk about before I head on off is that I am going to be doing a 24-hour, I'm going to try and see if I can make it a charity event. I don't know if I can yet or not, but I'm going to do a 24-hour PSVR Skyrim challenge again. Yes, I know that I did Skyrim the last 24-hour challenge I did this time last year, but I need to be constant for this challenge. I need to be constantly immersed in VR, in PSVR, without really coming out, except for maybe going to the odd bio break. And I want to do this as one continuous stream from beginning to end. Now, last time I did this, it kind of broke down at midnight because I think I just got disconnected from BT and they stopped me from streaming. So a nice quick phone call to them later to get me back up and running, and yeah, got that sorted out. So I'm expecting the same sort of problems this time. After about, when I get to about midnight, I might be kicked off the internet saying you've been using it too much. So let's hope they don't do that. Secondly, I used to volunteer for a charity event called Crisis Open Christmas, which is basically helping the homeless people during the Christmas period. They hire out an abandoned building, which they do up, and they put in sleeping quarters for all the homeless people to come in and sleep in. They will give them meals and foods. There's even an internet connection so people can check their email if they need to. And well, that last bit, checking the emails for the homeless, is more important than it sounds. Because yeah, the homeless, what do they need with emails and internet for? And so, well, they could apply to potential jobs, or they could try and see if they can get in contact with people they haven't heard from their, like, the friends or family that they've lost contact with for years. I mean, and being able to actually connect and use the internet can be an important start to helping their recovery. They might not know who to contact or help out, but that's why you've got agents or engineers on site to help guide them through this. And believe it or not, when I was there, the internet sites, the email sites was used very much. And I believe that was really quite beneficial to quite a few people there. Now, Crisis Open Christmas, they do this every Christmas, every year, and as I said, I used to help out as much as I could before I moved out of London. So this year I would like to help out by donating. I know this is going to sound very self-centered. I'm going to do a little drive or campaign for them. So I'm going to put up a link in there in the description when I start playing the game, to go to their website if you want to donate to help the homeless over Christmas. I'm going to be playing the game. I'm going to be playing the game as a a homeless level 1 character in Skyrim. Going from city to city, from town to town, as a homeless beggar asking for money, and then trying to see if we can build up. I'll probably end up at the level 20 again and defeating dragons and monsters, and just crawling around and making dungeons my makeshift home for the night. But that'll be a little bit of a role play that I'll throw into the game itself. But I'm real reluctant to do it because I'm not too sure if I can actually afford it myself at the moment. But I want to do an extra something for this, and it's also going to be a subscription drive as well, because I really want to try and see if I can get my subscribers up as well. So this is a selfish part on my behalf, but I'm going to make it selfish and donating at the time. So when it starts, every person that subscribes to my channel, I will donate £1. I hope I'm not going to regret that. Yeah, imagine if I got like 1,000 subscribers and say, yeah, I've got to donate £1,000. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And I'm looking forward to it. And I might, well, last time I was there for 25.5 hours before I finally conked out and went to bed. But we'll see if we can extend it a little bit further this time. We'll see if we can go a little bit further. But yes, that's that for this week's weekly update. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed creating this. Thanks very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys out there.